Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. This one's going to be all about the Avatar Funko Pops because we finally have some pictures of what some of the new ones are going to look like. So before we get to those new pictures, let's quickly go over what we knew from before, which was basically just what the characters were going to be but no images. So we've known about these first five, which are the five we have pictures of for quite a while. Zhao, Ozai, Suki, Ty Lee, and a bigger Aang with all elements. Since then, there was the leaks of sort of what the exclusives were going to be. Aang with all elements glow in the dark, Zhao with fireball glow in the dark, Mei with knives, and then also a blue spirit Zuko, which was also going to have a chase version. And then newer information suggests that one of these is going to be a box lunch exclusive and another one is going to be a Hot Topic exclusive. I'm guessing maybe GameStop might get one of the other ones. We have to wait and see. So let's get into the pictures. So these come from Amazon France, which is kind of interesting. So we have the images here, we have pictures of them in box and sort of out of box as well to get a kind of better look at them. So they look really good in my opinion. Let's just kind of go through them sort of one by one and have some analysis here. So Zhao was probably the one I was the most sort of like skeptical about, because like, okay, Zhao, the book one villain, you know, I like him well enough, but how are they going to make him stand out as more than just like Fire Nation man basically as a Funko? But they do a really good job here by making it sort of more of a story piece with his figure, that it's him wearing the cape, you know, up in the Northern Water Tribe, doing what he sort of becomes known for, which is Zhao the Moonslayer. Here he is with the bag that he captures the koi fish that is the moon spirit in. That's a really cool way to make him stand out much more as a character, is have him doing his most dastardly act basically. So I think that makes him stand out really well. Like you can see here from the up close view, what they're going for him. Full military attire with the cape and the bag. I think it looks cool, and then like his unique kind of beard kind of situation. They do a good job. Like the faces are sort of the hardest thing to get across well in Funko Pops, but he stands out because he has the unique facial hair. So that's pretty cool with Zhao. We'll go down to Suki here. So they've gone for Kyoshi Warrior Suki, which I think makes complete sense. Everyone wants Kyoshi Warrior stuff, and Suki in her Kyoshi Warrior gear is absolutely ideal. Looks really good in the packaging. And then from the front on view, you can see here all the details. So the headdress, the makeup, the face paint, the fans, the armor itself, all the different greens, as well as the kind of armor plates. It looks really good, and especially sort of now that we have the Kyoshi novels and better understand like the origin of this whole getup of like, oh, Kyoshi's mother had the headdress, the face paint is actually from the Daofei group, the Flying Opera Company. The fans again come from Kyoshi's mother and stuff like that. It fits even more, and it's so cool that we're finally getting sort of a Kyoshi Warrior figure at last. So the first Kyoshi Warrior figure is really cool. So yeah, Suki, really glad to have another member of Team Avatar as a Funko Pop. Fire Lord Ozai here, number 999. Yeah, they've gone for full on, you know, him as the Fire Lord, full kind of regal attire, but with some fire effect parts. A kind of pretty large one here on the base. The long hair, they have the kind of beard that makes him kind of unique, and then, you know, the Fire Lord kind of hairpiece up here. He does stand out as Fire Lord Ozai, but also it leaves room for them to do a kind of counterpart to the big Aang of like Ozai in action somewhere down the road. But this is a pretty unique take on Ozai, and I like that. Ty Lee, I'm glad they've gone for a kind of agile acrobatic pose here for her. That definitely helps again get the character across and not just have it be a non-bender character just standing there in a pretty neutral pose. No, this gets across her character with the pose. And, you know, because she doesn't have any weapons or anything like that, it comes across as maybe a little bit plain compared to some of the other ones, but still, the unique color scheme of the more kind of pink here rather than the reds of the military characters. And then her hair, you know, you've got the giant kind of ponytail coming down the back. I'd like to see a better angle to see that a bit clearer, but again, it's the pose that is what really stands out with Ty Lee. And again, this is like the first Ty Lee figure, so that has a ton of value to it as well. First time figures for like some of these characters, and that's really great to see. Obviously people maybe like actual action figures as well as the Funko Pops, but the Funko Pops are popular for a reason, and that's what stands out. And then we have the big one, number 1000 here, Pop Animation. Interestingly, it doesn't seem like there's anything on this packaging that suggests it's a new special type of Pop called a Pop Super or anything like that. I guess just because it is sort of a giant effect part on a otherwise normally sized Funko, they kind of treat it slightly differently. But still, Avatar State Aang from the finale here, looks fantastic. It's exactly what people expected, but how they execute it is probably the most interesting thing about it. So you can see here, clear base, clear stand going up onto the figure to hold him in the air, hold the whole thing up basically. So that was the first problem you need to accomplish, was just how do you release basically a sphere, a giant sphere with a figure inside? How do you accomplish that? And so, okay, they have a stand on top, the stand holds up the sphere. Great. Now, how do you do the rings, and how do you do like the air ball? So they seem to be just going for, it is a clear plastic ball that covers up pretty much everything. Aang is inside, and on the outside of the ball is the fire ring. On the inside of the ball, I'm guessing probably like maybe glued to the inside of it, is the water effect part. And then inside that is the earth ring, which is held together by a clear kind of ring, as you can see there. I think it's really clever in terms of there was a lot of hurdles to sort of overcome just to like accomplish this well. And then the figure itself looks good. So you have Aang here in the Avatar state. The only thing I maybe question a little bit is that the arrow on both his arms and his head still comes across as blue when it should be white like his eyes. So I don't know if they're just going for a little bit of an effect here, where it definitely doesn't quite seem as blue as an arrow tattoo should be for an airbender. So are they just going for a sort of an effect where it's white coming through blue, maybe make it feel more realistic, rather than just doing a full-on white arrow? I'm not sure. Or is this what the standard one is going to look like, and the full on like white arrows is going to be on the glow in the dark one? I hope that's not the case. I hope that when we see, like, I suppose better in-person pictures of this, the arrow does come across as being a little bit more white, whereas it still feels quite blue for the arrows here, and it gives it a little bit of a weird effect where it's Avatar state, the arrows should be, you know, white, just like beaming out basically, not really blue at all. So that's the only thing I'd question. Otherwise I think it looks fantastic. The one thing I do again want to know from a sort of materials point of view is just, obviously I think this is just a render. I don't think these are actually physical pictures. As far as I can tell, they don't quite look like that. So these I think are still just mock-ups. So this is all I think going to be transparent plastic, or sort of transparent with some paint on it, like we sort of saw from the first wave of figures and so on. How is the sphere of plastic going to be that makes up the air effect part? Is it going to be just like full on as clear as possible so you can see the figure perfectly? Or are they going to try and like do it up a little bit so that it has kind of like wind effects on it, or what? That's where like they probably have to make a bit of a kind of function as a nice looking figure versus accuracy to visually how airbending is presented. That's probably a tricky thing to accomplish here, because if they have too much effects going on, you maybe possibly can't see Aang in the sphere. If they don't have any, it might just look a little bit weird. That's one thing to look out for. But overall, fantastic effort, you have to say, to make a very complicated, figure. So I feel like I'm all in on this initial wave of Avatar, this new wave of Avatar Funkos. I was a bit worried that like, oh, the Zhao might be a bit plain, but no, they added a little bit extra on with the cape here, and then the bag with the moon spirit inside. They've done Suki right, gymnastic pose for Ty Lee, even Ozai has the fire effect. This all looks really, really good. Just waiting to see what these other ones are. How exactly does the glow in the dark Aang all elements look? Zhao with fireball, like I said, I'm guessing will be more of an in-action Zhao, probably without the cape, in more of a bending pose there with the fireball. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm guessing it's going to be a kind of big fireball, just the fact that it's Zhao with fireball. Mei with knives, I'm very interested to see how Mei looks, because they seem to be able to capture the characters of each character with the Funko Pop designs. So Mei with knives, what pose do they have her in? How do they accomplish her design? I'm excited to see that. And then Blue Spirit Zuko, once you get the mask right and that looks nice and accurate, I think you should be sorted there, and you have the swords to go for as well. So yeah, I guess over the next coming months we will begin to see pre-orders go live for these. We'll find out more about the release dates and so on, and they'll get, I suppose, properly announced soon as well, now that the imagery is out there on official websites. Again, this didn't come from Funko leakers finding stuff, it's just on Amazon France. So yeah. Last thing I'll say is just that I will be having another live stream this upcoming Saturday, same time as the previous two, so 7 p.m. Ireland time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be the top 10 firebenders list this time out, and then our secondary topic is just going to be some more Avatar Studios discussion, just with the chat, so that one won't be like too massive or in detail, but just to have a little bit extra, so it's not just all firebenders all the time. So yeah, that's basically the video. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on all of these new Avatar Funko Pop images that we now have. Which one is your favorite? Which ones are you excited for? Let me know in the comments below. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.